When Mara brought Alex home, I told myself not to judge too quickly. Still, it was hard not to notice things. He was withdrawn, quiet to the point of vanishing. He dressed as if appearances were an inconvenience, clothes rumpled, shoes worn thin, hair unkempt in a way that didn't feel deliberate, just unattended. He didn't talk about work, or plans, or interests. When asked what he wanted out of life, he smiled faintly and said, "Not much." That answer stayed with me. I wasn't worried about money. I was worried about direction. About momentum. About whether this was a phase or a hollow where something should be. We told ourselves it was temporary. That new relationships can be strange, that people bloom slowly. Mara had always been close with us. Warm, engaged, curious. Surely she wouldn't disappear into someone else's quiet. But she did. When they announced their wedding, it was already decided. Small. No debate. No discussion. An aggressively small affair that Mara insisted was exactly what they wanted. No extended family, no friends, no celebration to speak of. I smiled. I showed up. I swallowed the disappointment. After the wedding, the distance became unmistakable. They stopped visiting, then stopped calling, then stopped sharing anything real at all. When I tried to ask Mara how she was, she answered carefully, like someone speaking through glass. Alex never reached out, not once. I told myself not to jump to conclusions. But it's hard not to notice when your daughter's world shrinks to the size of one person, especially when that person has no interest in expanding it. Then our life changed. My husband's business began to fail after a bad year and worse timing. My other daughter's marriage collapsed suddenly and painfully. The illusion that life is stable if you're careful enough cracked wide open. That's when I began to understand how fragile family really is. So I reached out to Mara, not to criticize, not to accuse, just to check in. To remind her we were here. That she didn't have to disappear to be married. That concern isn't control. Her replies were polite, short, neutral, closed. Alex remained silent. The more I tried to soften, the more distant they became. Invitations declined. Calls unanswered. Holidays passed without them. It felt less like independence and more like deliberate removal. That's when the karma arrived, quietly, as these things often do. Not to us. To them. Over time, Mara stopped being mentioned by anyone outside our immediate family. Friends drifted away. Cousins stopped asking. There were no shared milestones, no overlapping memories. When something good happened, there was no one to celebrate with. When something hard happened, no one to absorb the weight. They built a life so self-contained that it had no echo. I see it now in the rare photos she sends, her smile careful, her eyes watchful. Alex beside her, unchanged, as sealed as ever. A life without conflict, yes, but also without texture. No history accumulating, no one who remembers who you were before. That's the cost of isolation. Not poverty, not failure, but a narrowing so complete that eventually there is no one left to witness you, and no way back without admitting you chose it. I still leave the door open. But I've learned that you can't save someone who believes closeness is a threat, and you can't compete with a quiet that's mistaken for peace.